What do you think, Piner? Let's get your lowdown.
Man, he did it. He did it 3 times over, man. God, the most damning piece of evidence in that whole doc was when they were showing how he wrote scripts. And he would always put in like a young girl, you know. I mean, watch his movies. His movies are always about old men going after young women and whatnot. Like, dude, this guy, life imitates art, baby. And this guy is so guilty. So not a shadow in my mind that he touched that little girl, dude.
So you
Obviously.
think that because I think what you're saying kind of relates to the question of can you separate the art from the artist, but
Right.
what if the art is kind of the subliminal portrayal of who the artist is, but it's subtle enough
Right.
to not seem, to not be so on the nose. Like you didn't show him molesting a 7-year-old girl. Like, but
Right.
in
Right.
his films, shit was, when you look back on it now after knowing everything you know, but I mean, this all came out in 92 though. So I mean, from 92, this is when he did his like 60 Minutes interview and all that stuff
Yeah.
about it, which that really rubbed me the wrong way. But when he did that, I mean, it's been, 20 plus years, almost 30 years since all this came out. I mean, he's still walking around, still making movies. I think he has a movie coming out here soon. And I mean, he's 83, 84 years old. Yeah, I think so. Pretty sure.
Was it part of that Amazon deal? Because remember, he had that Amazon deal, like a 10-year deal to just make whatever movies he wanted to make. And then they backtracked.
Right. I don't know if he's making movies in the States anymore. I mean, last on the documentary, it said his latest film's being released in Europe. So I don't even know if his films are released in the United States anymore.
I do remember it saying that. I think it's called Rifkin something. I don't know.
His last film?
No, the one that's coming out.
Oh.
I don't know. But anyway, I mean, he still has the capacity to be a director. And he hasn't been shunned from Hollywood. Quite the opposite. It seems like a lot of the Hollywood people are actually kind of protecting him and defending him versus when it was like Harvey Weinstein and stuff. I don't think you really saw that. When it came to Harvey, it was like, fuck Harvey, throw the book at him. But for whatever reason, it seems like Woody, even in the documentary, New York protected him. The city of New York protected him. And they, like, everybody around him protected him. His publicist, I forget her name, like, did everything she could. She's a piece of shit to protect him. But he had this whole legal team and publicist team behind him to spin the story, to control the narrative, to put him in front of all the cameras and all the interviews. And I don't think Mia really had that opportunity. She didn't have, like, I believe her when she said the most important thing to her was protecting her children. And that meant kind of ignoring all the chaos as much as she could and just keeping her focus back to the home and the children. But I don't know. I mean, it's tough to talk about the subject, obviously. Like no one, I don't think anyone wants to talk about this. And this particular case just poses so many other questions. But yeah.
I don't know, man. There was a couple things about the doc that stood out to me. One was like his writing, and how he wrote women and everything. That was very damning. And then the second one is like, why not be a part of the documentary? Like, there's a reason the documentary is one-sided, and it's because Woody Allen didn't want to be part of the documentary.
But why not? So just playing devil's advocate here, why not press charges when it comes to Dylan's case?
It's true, man.
Because like they say statute of limitations or whatever, but I mean that's assuming that's 2021. But you had all these years saying that you knew what happened, like from 92 and beyond, that you could have pressed charges or something. And it seems like no one is suggesting that. Even Roland Farrow, the brother, isn't like who has like well-educated, went to I think Harvard or whatever and law degree or whatever. Even he's not suggesting
that dude's coming for everybody in Hollywood, man.
He is, dude.
What's good on him? So, little side note, real quick about him. There's a theory that he is Frank Sinatra's kid because Mia dated Frank Sinatra back in the day. And if you look at side-by-side comparisons of Roland and Frank Sinatra, I think he's Frank Sinatra's kid. I mean, it's like 1,000% positive that he's Frank Sinatra's kid.
He does. Now that you say that, I could see it. I can see it, but he's far too. Wait, are you insinuating that she was fooling around behind Woody's back with Frank Sinatra just to have his kid?
I'm just saying that,
or just to make it seem like, oh, you know, like she used Frank Sinatra as like a surrogate father, or no, Woody Allen would be the surrogate father, right?
Yeah.
Without Woody Allen even knowing that he's
right
the surrogate father. He thinks that he is the father.
There's just no way. I mean, if you had to tell me like Frank Sinatra and Woody Allen, there's no way Woody Allen's beating it up in the sheets. You know, like Frank Sinatra, I could see Frank Sinatra being a stud in the sheets, dude. Like just pounding ass, so like feeling good, everything like that. Woody Allen, hell no, dude. Hell no. He's a bum on a log, dude.
I think Woody Allen just wanted to create, like, his life was a movie that he saw himself as a director of. And like this was most evident to me in the 60 Minutes interview. I mean, they plain out asked him, did you molest Dylan? He doesn't say no right away, which I would assume would be anyone's immediate response of no.
Right.
That's asinine no. Instead, he goes on, kind of pauses a little bit. He's like, well, think about this. Would it be logical for me in the prime of my yada, 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 and goes on this 5-minute spill painting this picture that he wants you to believe. And whether it's true or not, you know, whatever. There's only a handful of people that actually know. But when I watched that 60 Minutes interview, and I watched it outside of the documentary, I went back and watched about 15 minutes of it. I was like, I can't do it. This guy is so full of fucking shit. Such a narcissistic piece of shit. I was like, I can't watch any more of it. I was trying to be like, you know what? I watched this documentary. I got riled up. I want to see him vanish from this planet, but let me at least kind of go outside of the documentary and watch for myself. And then the first thing I went to was a 60 Minutes interview, and I was like, yeah, no, I wholeheartedly believe that this guy's guilty. Wholeheartedly. I'm not saying that me is fully innocent.
Right.
But I think he actually did it. I think he, actually molested her.